June 28, 1914, Sarajevo. A motorcade winds through the narrow streets of Bosnia's capital. In the back seat of an open car sits Archduke Franz Ferdinand, heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, beside his wife, Sophie. A young nationalist named Gavrilo Princip steps forward, raises his pistol, and fires 2 shots. The world holds its breath. No one could have imagined that these gunshots, fired by a 19-year-old student, would ignite a global inferno. Within weeks, empires declared war, alliances collapsed, and millions marched to battlefields from Europe to Africa, Asia, and beyond. This is the story of World War I, the war that changed everything. In the early 1900s, Europe was a powder keg waiting for a spark. Empires ruled the world. Britain, France, Germany, Austria-Hungary, and Russia controlled vast territories. Industrial progress, nationalism, and imperial rivalry created both pride and paranoia. Nations built massive armies. Germany expanded its navy. France wanted revenge for past defeats. Russia sought to protect its Slavic allies. The people were told war would be glorious, short, heroic, and victorious. No one knew that the modern weapons of industry, machine guns, artillery, and gas, would turn that dream into horror. When Franz Ferdinand was assassinated, the Austro-Hungarian Empire saw its chance to crush Serbian nationalism. On July 23, 1914, Austria-Hungary issued an ultimatum to Serbia. The demands were impossible to meet. When Serbia hesitated, Austria-Hungary declared war. The alliances kicked in like falling dominoes. Russia mobilized to defend Serbia. Germany declared war on Russia and then on France. To reach France, Germany invaded Belgium, pulling Britain into the war. Within a week, the world was engulfed. From the Balkans to the Western Front, the First World War had begun. August 1914. Millions of young men marched off to war, cheered by crowds who thought it would all be over by Christmas. Instead, the Western Front froze into hell. From the North Sea to Switzerland, opposing armies dug deep trenches, stretching over 400 miles. Soldiers lived, fought, and died in mud, rats, and terror. The Battle of the Somme, Verdun, and Ypres became names of horror. Men advanced through no man's land, only to be mowed down by machine guns. Poison gas drifted across the lines, burning lungs and blinding eyes. Modern technology, tanks, airplanes, submarines, appeared for the first time. But strategy lagged behind invention. Millions died for a few yards of ground. War had become mechanical, and merciless. This was not just Europe's war, it was the world's. In the East, massive battles between Germany and Russia saw entire armies destroyed. In Africa, colonies were invaded. In the Middle East, Arab rebels fought against the Ottoman Empire. In Asia, Japan joined the Allies, expanding its influence. In 1915, the Gallipoli campaign tried to open a sea route to Russia, but failed disastrously. In the Atlantic, German U-boats sank ships, including the passenger liner Lusitania, killing Americans and stirring outrage. By 1917, exhaustion gripped every nation. Armies mutinied. Civilians starved. The map of the world trembled, and then came a new power. In April 1917, the United States entered the war, tipping the balance. Fresh troops, supplies, and morale reinvigorated the Allies. Meanwhile, in Russia, the Bolshevik Revolution erupted. Lenin seized power, and by 1918, Russia withdrew from the war, signing the Treaty of Brest-Litovsk. Germany launched one last massive offensive in spring 1918, trying to win before American strength became overwhelming. But it failed. By summer, the Allies counterattacked with relentless force. German lines collapsed. On November 11, 1918, at 11 a.m. the guns finally fell silent. The Great War was over. The numbers were staggering. over 65 million soldiers mobilized. More than 20 million dead, and 21 million wounded. Entire cities destroyed. Generations scarred. The old empires, Austro-Hungarian, Ottoman, Russian, German, all collapsed. New nations rose from their ruins. In 1919, the Treaty of Versailles blamed Germany, demanding crushing reparations and humiliation. The seeds of another conflict were already being sown. World War I changed everything: politics, art, science, and the human soul. Airplanes, tanks, and wireless communication redefined warfare. Women entered the workforce and gained new rights. Empires crumbled, and revolutions spread. But beneath the silence of peace, resentment grew. The same nations that vowed never again would be at war just 2 decades later. The world had entered the modern age, baptized in blood. One shot in Sarajevo set the world on fire. From the mud of the trenches to the halls of Versailles, World War I reshaped humanity, and taught us how fragile peace can be. So, what do you think? Could another world war have been avoided, or was it inevitable? Tell us in the comments. And remember to like, share, and subscribe. Because here on Fact Legend, we tell the stories the world must never forget. Until next time, stay curious, stay human, and never stop learning from history.